Good morning, everybody. Let's see here. Today is a Sunday, and I am streaming today. I thought, oh, maybe I'll watch the fight, but this fight was in England. Joshua against Dubois was in England, and so the fight was last night, um, not this morning. So anyway, let me see here. I'm trying to find out what we have for the exchange rate right now. Other way around. Oof. Terrible. It's almost 33, but it is under 33 at 32.99. It has been as low as about 32.85, something like that. Which that's just not good. Let's see here. A little bit behind. The current air quality is 19 in Bankapi. The weather, 82 degrees. 82 degrees right now. Humidity is 85. Let's see here. Rain all through next Sunday. Unbelievable. Look, the flooding continues, which we're going to talk about that a little bit. I don't know what the high and the low is. I don't know. Oh, well, thank you to whoever just kicked down the cash. Let me see who that was. Joe Ford, how you doing? Thank you very much, Joe. You start out the stream really good. That's a nice way to start the stream out. Morning, Dale. Good morning, everybody. Sawadee ton chow. Sawadee. I had a guy email me. Let's see here. What is the? I want to see in. How come I can't do this here? What is the deal here? This is in Celsius. High at 32, low at 26. And really, the rain today, 94% chance of rain. 82% tomorrow, 85, then 74, then 40, 40. Next week, from Thursday to Saturday, it's in the 40%. Sunday, 40%. Then it goes up the Monday after that, and the Tuesday to 68 and 65%. So a lot of rain in the coming weeks. Rained yesterday quite a bit. Let's see here. All right. So as I said, 32.99, which is terrible. Could be good, but depends on what who's paying you, what you're getting paid in. My wife and I were just talking about a house. Now, if we have to pay, say, $60,000 a month, or $64,000 a month, $65,000 a month, that's $2,000 at the current rate. It's about $2,000. But if it was at 37, we'd be paying less in dollars. It'd still be the same in baht. But everything depends on the Thai government and what they're going to do about this. They've said they're going to lower the interest rates so that tourism and exports will not continue to suffer. And that's supposed to happen on October 16th. So, what's going on here? Okay, we are live. Yeah, we're live. Okay, good deal. Everybody can see me and hear me. Today we're just going to talk about the news. But what was I thinking about? The guy contacted me. I think it was Mac something or other, Mac, whatever his username is. He emailed me, and he was saying something about, oh, I'd really like to find a place between 8 and 12,000 baht. Totally doable, even in Bangkok. However, you're gonna probably need, unless you're really sharp and you really know what you're doing, you're probably going to need a Thai person to help you, or you are going to have to speak Thai and read Thai to figure out what you need to pay and to figure out how you can get a price that low. I know that here in the village here, townhouses start really, most of the time it's around 10,000 baht. And that's, this is a middle class area. Sometimes you get a little lower, sometimes it's higher. But these are townhouses. You want a house, it might cost you a little bit more. We paid 6,000 baht for the house we had next to Waitani Hospital a while back, 12 years ago or whatever it was. No, it wasn't 12 years ago. 10 years ago, something like that. We paid 6,000 baht. It was 3 bedroom, 2 bath. It was nice, had a big yard, it was fenced in. We could lock the door, nobody could get into the house. I mean, it was great. We pay a little bit more for this place. And, we've been looking for a house for a while. And, I mean, you can get a place here in Bangkok for, where do you want to start? You want to start at 500,000-600,000? Yeah, you're going to get a little place that's not all that great. You pay a couple million baht, you might be paying for a place that's a little bit smaller or way out there, way away from where we are right here. Or maybe it's going to be a much older house. But if you get to around 4 million, 5 million baht, you can get something fairly nice. So we've been looking for places for, a year, 2 years. And we really stepped it up because my wife really wants to buy a house and we would like to have a house. But, there's a lot of different things you have to think about. Like, if anything ever happens, can you make the payment? Which is a big thing. If you got a $2,000 or say 65,000 baht house payment, can you pay that if you're not working? And how long can you do it for? So you have to think about that. You have to think about the state of the house, the location of the house, the size of the house. Is it worth it? You got all these things to think about. Good morning, Michael, and thank you very much. Wow, I'm starting out to stream pretty good today. I love it. Good deal. Hey, Bo, do you have that brochure? I just want to look at it, okay? I don't want to show it. Don't get pissed off. 181 square meters. 181 times mit. Okay. So, anyway, anytime you're talking about houses, it's a major step. You got to think about things. So, it's about that. And we do want to get out of here, but we don't want to make a lateral or downward move. We want to make a move into something that we feel like where we should really be living. And, and then it's like, would we really want to move out of the country? I don't know, man. And I always say this, and it's like I say it over and over again. Hey, Scott, I always listen, brother. I just happen to be on here now. Excellent. Good deal, Michael. I know you're around. Nick Tao, good morning. Good morning, everybody. Sawati Ton Chow. I know people listen and, they want to know what's going on. And who knows, maybe at some point we will end up in a new house. I don't know. I don't really know at this point. Maybe that'll happen. It would be nice if it happened, but honestly, like I've said many times, I don't really care. Um, I don't really care if we move or not. I mean, it would be nice, yes. I have seen a condo on the riverfront around $300. I will be looking at it in November. You mean $300 a month? That's the rent? I wouldn't expect it to be very big. It might be a studio. I don't know. Because that's not all that much on the river. On the river, the prices tend to be a little bit higher. And I personally, I wouldn't want to live on the river. I don't know. Would you, Bo?
Yes.
You would? She would like to live there. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. To me, it's about noise and pollution and number of people and yeah, it's a studio. Okay, so I thought that. If that's all you need, that's great. You know, I mean, if you're thinking long term, how long term are you thinking? You know, are you thinking 5 years, 10 years? And then you got to think if you move over here and you are single. I know that some guys go, I'm gonna remain single, but some guys end up and they have somebody else, and then to get two people, three people into a studio, like two people and a kid or something. I mean, it's a bit much. So you just have to think it through. That's all. Anyway, which side of the river? They're both expensive. And it depends on what area of, if you're living by the Peninsula Hotel, you're living by, that area, the Oriental and all, then it's going to be a bit expensive. If you're living down where I went, what was it that I went to go see? I don't even remember. I showed you guys. Well, yeah, that area is pretty expensive. I would think that is, yeah. I don't know what kind of studio apartment it is. I mean, maybe it's small and but it's nice. I don't know. You know. Should I get a bigger house so my wife's boyfriend can move in? If that's what you want, go for it. To me, three's a crowd, but hey, if that's what you want, go for it, buddy. Oh my God. Let me see something here. We got a lot of news today. Lots and lots and lots and lots. Oh my God. All right, let's see here. Where should we start? Where do we begin? Well, first of all, you're saying Thailand is planning to tax foreign income. What's your take on it? My take on it is it has not been finalized yet. Period. When they finalize it and come up with some guidelines, okay, where are you going? Uh-uh. Okay. You gonna let the lady do it? She always does it herself. She wants to do it herself. I always just give it to the lady and go, I'll pay 150 baht to have it done because I'm lazy. Yeah, with regards to the taxes, people talk about it. They're talking about it. It's kind of like the 300 baht entry fee that now they're talking about it again. They talk about making changes to the visa system. They every once in a great while. And now they're talking about taxing foreigners, and not only taxing foreigners for the money that comes into Thailand, but any money you earn, if it's not subject to the dual tax treaties, you have to pay taxes on that money too, which I don't like. And so I want to see what happens, and I want to see if they finalize everything. And they haven't published it in the Royal Gazette, so that means right now it's just up in the air. I was on here more when I worked in Saudi. Now in the States, I am the command photographer for the AMC. It's a big step from graphic design that I was doing. Yeah, I used to be a photographer. I used to work as a photographer. I did it for about 20 years. I photographed boxing and travel and all kinds of things. And now I don't know why, I just haven't really done it, but I mean to start up. That's one of my New Year's resolutions. I want to start up and really get back to it. If they finalize it, what do you think will be the impact? I think for a lot of guys, it's not going to be all that much. I mean, you know, if you get Social Security or a pension, you're not going to be taxed. You won't be taxed on that. Now, if you're getting money in from, I don't know, you have a house and you're getting rental income, yeah, maybe you're going to have to pay on that. If you're getting 2,000 from, two different places, you're renting out two properties for 2,000 each, and you get, Social Security, and that's 1,500. You got 5,500 coming in. You got to think about it, because you won't have to pay on the Social Security, but you have to pay on the rental properties. And then you're going to have to figure out, okay, how much? And if you're married, if you've got kids, how are you going to write up your income tax paperwork? Because you're going to get deductions. If you're married, you're going to get deductions. If you're working, certain things, maybe if you're working in Thailand, you're going to get certain deductions. And if you're buying something here, I don't know how you would go about doing it, because like for me, even if I'm buying a house, I don't know that my name would be on the paperwork. I guess it would be. It's kind of up to my wife. I mean, we can both do it, and I don't really care, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, there are some things. There are some deductions. They may give you deductions for certain things from America. If I don't know exactly, because they have not released anything. That's the thing. When they release some news, other than, if you've been here more than 183 days, you've got to pay taxes. If they release something more than that, and they show, this is the tax bracket, 5%, 10%, 0, 20%. Okay, if they release more information, then you would know more. But they haven't released anything. So, I just say, just like I always say, just wait and see. You got to just wait and see, man. That's how it works here. You don't have, what are your options right now? Your options are wait and see or wait and see. So that's what I would say you do. All right, let me get to this here. Where am I here? Okay, two things. First of all, heavy rains continue across northern, northeastern, and central Thailand throughout the day today. There's a lot of flooding going on. The eastern and southern regions will also experience significant rain, with flash floods and forest runoff posing risks, especially in foothill areas near waterways. The severe weather is linked to a strong low-pressure system weakened by Tropical Depression Saula and a strong southwest monsoon affecting the Andaman Sea and the Gulf of Thailand. Now, we're going to Suratani on Tuesday. And supposedly it's not going to affect us all that much, but we're inland in Suratani. So we'll see what happens with that. Wow, thank you, Michael. Thank you very much. Welcome, our newest member, Michael Lee. But I'm actually, I'm looking forward to going down there. I mean, it's not like we have a lot of things to do there. We eat, we hang out with some of the family, which, to me is not that big of a deal, because we just hang out and, shoot the shit. We go to the temple once or twice, and I'll go there and stream, and then maybe I'll go for a walk somewhere in the neighborhood. I'll go walk down a ways, and you'll see it's nothing but rubber trees. in the area where we live, it's all rubber trees, a little bit of, palm trees, but a lot of things like banana trees and things like that. But I've shown it before, but I'll stream. I don't know if I'll be able to stream on Tuesday. I'll either stream tomorrow or Wednesday, and then I'll stream on Friday or Saturday morning. I don't know. So, and hopefully it won't be raining. Authorities are urging residents in affected regions to remain vigilant as flash floods and runoff remain a concern. They did say that in Chiang Mai, the rain is not such an issue anymore. It's slowed down, but who knows if that's going to continue, because anything can happen. And it's yesterday it rained here, and it wasn't so bad to where it was flooding. It wasn't flooding, but it was steady, and it was steady. That's basically it. And usually when it rains in Thailand, it rains for maybe an hour and then it just stops. That didn't happen yesterday. Now the big thing going on right now is the rally of the baht, which the baht is the strongest it's been since 1998. And there are calls, the currency's 10% surge. It's actually about 11% since the end of June. So say July, August, and now we're, 3 months, not even 3 months, almost 3 months. The baht has gained about 11%, prompting calls from the tourism and hotel sectors and business chambers to temper the rally. Commerce Minister Pichai Nariaptaupan and Deputy Finance Minister Paupum Rojanasakun this week urged the Bank of Thailand to take steps to rein in the currency and stem its volatility. While the baht rally was driven largely by the U.S. dollar slump ahead of the Federal Reserve's rate cut on Wednesday, which it went down, I think, 0.5%, the outsized gain compared with the currencies of Thailand's trade partners may prompt buyers to scout for cheaper sources. While foreign tourist arrivals remain robust, it is only a matter of time before the local currency strength squeezes shopping and hotel spending, according to the Tourism Council of Thailand. So that's a big thing. People will not want to come here if the baht is too strong. This is a challenge for the new Prime Minister, Paetongtarn Shinawatra, who has pledged to stimulate Southeast Asia's second largest economy and reduce cost of living. Well, that would be nice. I hope she's successful. While Thailand's gross domestic product growth has trailed neighbors, including Indonesia and the Philippines, its tourism and exports have been among the few bright spots in the economy. The tourism is always a bright spot here, and you know why? First of all, there's a lot of things to do in Thailand. And second of all, guys come for chicks here. Not all of them. I don't even want to say some of them. But guys come for women here. Guys come, I'm going to go to Pattaya. I'll hang out at the beach. Maybe I'll go somewhere. And by the way, I'll pick up a chick, or a couple of chicks, and have some fun. The baht's sharp gains are adding to a private sector woes such as high production costs and a flood of cheap imports from China. The rapid gains in the baht have made it worse for exporters. What we want is a stable baht and help in dealing with high financing costs. The Thai currency has moved in a wide range, making it difficult for exporters to conduct business. Mr. Paupum said on Thursday, steps should be taken to ensure the baht is not too weak, not too strong, and most importantly, not too volatile. Well, that would be nice. Anyway, we got to keep an eye on this. This is the big issue right now, the strength of the baht versus the dollar, vice versa. For now, Thailand is on course to meet its target of hosting 36.7 million tourists this year and generating 2 trillion baht in revenue. Arrivals have totaled almost 25 million so far this year, up 31% from a year ago. 36.7 million almost hits 40 million, which is the high here. So I would say probably in 2025, you never know, Thailand might surpass that. I don't know. And I said earlier in a live stream, what happens if it hits 50 million tourists? What happens if Thailand gets 50 million tourists? Will they be ready for the surge? Will they be ready for all the extra tourists coming in? And supposedly China is on the decline. The number of Chinese tourists are on the decline. Let's see here. What's going on there? Okay, here we go. Pattaya vows to fast track construction in Chonburi. There's a public outcry. They've taken forever to finish the roads that they're working on there. That's really all I'm going to say. It's taken forever. I can't even remember when those streets were not under construction. City officials are doubling down on cleanliness and debris management, vowing to keep the construction areas safe and tidy. They have stressed the need for better traffic control to avoid further chaos for drivers and pedestrians. It's really bad. I don't know why. But I wouldn't want to be driving in Pattaya. I think it's a nightmare. And if you know anything about Pattaya, you know that there are areas of the city, they're just horrible to drive through. You know, I mean, it shouldn't be that difficult. Pattaya is not that big of a city. They should have it down. They should have it wired. Those roads should be, they should be set up so that there is not mass traffic. Anyway. What is this here? All right, let's see here. What else do we have here? Speaking about the weather, Malaysian tourists have been warned of bad weather in Thailand. Even down on the border of Thailand and Malaysia, there is a lot of bad weather. And so Malaysia has strongly advised its citizens vacationing in Thailand to be watchful as the country is facing storms that have pounded many provinces with downpours. Why did you get away from photography? I don't know, man. You know, I spent a lot of energy. It takes a lot of energy for me. And it took a lot of energy for me to make money. I mean, the boxing, that takes a hell of a lot of energy. And you don't make a whole lot of money. I mean, you know, it's like I would do a fight. I would have to write articles so I could make some money. And maybe I would make it. I mean, you know, the most I made was $5,000 off a fight. Actually, I made a little bit more, maybe 5,500. And that was Chris John and Juan Manuel Marquez. And that's because HBO Sports bought my photos because Manuel Marquez was fighting Manny Pacquiao, and he fought him numerous times, but they bought my photos on 2 occasions. So I made some decent money on that, but a lot of other times it was like, man, it would cost me $200 to go there, and maybe I would make $400. And you know, it might take me all day and the next day. I take photos and everything, but I'm not like pushing I definitely don't push the boxing, because a lot of places will go, oh, well, we can't pay you money right now. And I go, well, if you can't pay me money, then you don't get my stuff. I don't care. Go get it from somebody who wants to pay. They don't want to be paid for their services. I just don't do it. I mean, that's just, for me, it's like, why do it? I'll do it for myself, but I won't do it for somebody else and give them stuff for free. So that's one reason. The other reason is that it takes a lot of energy. And I used to have to, you know, I'd be laying on the ring ropes. And I mean, I did Muay Thai too. I'd have to go in. I'd be laying on the ring apron in Lumpini Stadium. You know, I mean, I went in, I showed my card, went in for free. I'm just laying there. Then what I would do is if I went somewhere like in Thailand or Indonesia or Philippines, wherever it was, I would stay for an extra couple of days, and I would find something that I could do when it has to do with tourism, or travel. I would try to find a place to go photograph, and sometimes I'd make good money from it, pretty good money from it. $500, $1,000, and sometimes I'd make nothing. But I'd have the photos, which I could use later on, which I don't really use that much now. Then I got into a gallery, two galleries, one in New York and one in near LA. And that was pretty good, made me a little money, makes me a little money. I don't know about now, though. Maybe. But yeah, that's about it, really. And then I'm just like, okay, so do I really want to do it? Or do I want to do, like I went to Hong Kong a couple years ago and covered the protests for 4 months. That was a lot of work. And I would say probably I broke even, made a little bit of money. And I mean like a couple $100. That's it. For 4 months. Now, actually, I made more than that because I sold some in the gallery, sold a couple photos. So I made more, but it's basically you have the archive, and can you make any money from that archive? And from Hong Kong, yeah, okay, I made some money from it, but it wasn't a huge amount. I mean, if I made $1,000, okay, $1,000 for 4 months, but really it's not only the 4 months; it's for long term. So, it can be good, it can be bad, it can be fun, and sometimes when you go out and you just go, God, I've got, yeah, I mean, I do it for myself, sure. I just don't really show a whole lot of photos, you know. If I had some really great photos that I thought, wow, I want to show these, okay, I would start doing it, and I probably will in the near future. But when it comes to everything else, I'm like, okay, I had my time. I did some good work, and that's about it. I mean, that's how I am, though. I just move on from shit. I move on, and if in the next, what I'm thinking now is that if I start streaming a little bit less, if I start making, well, I already am making less videos. If I have a little more time for myself, then yeah, I'll go out and I'll just shoot whatever I feel like shooting. And if I make any money from it, great. If I don't, that's the way it goes. Which is kind of how you got to think about photography now. You got to get really lucky, or you got to work for somebody where you make like a salary. It's difficult to make a lot of money from photography now, though. There's very few guys who are making big money. And I'm not trying to make big money, honestly. I'm not trying to make big money like, before when I was selling to like HBO and to different magazines and stuff like that. I mean, some magazine might pay you $500 and you go, wow, that's a lot of money. Well, yeah, but you might not sell any more for the rest of the month, so. All right, so yeah, I talked about Malaysia. They're warning people because the weather in Thailand is quite severe. Yeah, James Bond Island has been closed because of Storm Sulik. So that means nobody can go to James Bond Island right now. So the weather's a big deal here. The currency's a big deal here. What else here? Oh, now I don't know. This happened a couple of days ago, but a python attacked a woman, 64-year-old woman. It's Tuesday night, and it says the python was not a hunt for prey, but an act of self-defense. What's this lady's name here? Mrs. Arom, the victim who was attacked and constricted by the snake for over 2 hours. Well, she was lucky, man. She's lucky that snake wasn't bigger. The expert does not think it was a situation similar to the pythons eating people in Sulawesi, Indonesia. He hypothesized that this large snake wasn't hunting her as prey but was defending itself. Nick explained, Nick is the person who is talking, that the basis of this analysis of the information received comes from the information received. Ms. Arom was attacked around 8:30 p.m., a dark time when snakes often hunt for prey. The snake may have been hiding at the house beforehand. Jesus Christ, this thing is nasty. Oh my God, I think it's like a 4 meter snake. Grabbed her by the legs. Let me see here if I can see it. You know, I looked at this before and I didn't see it. It's a kind of like a place. Oh, I see her now. Holy Jesus. She's just laying there. She can't. This thing is constricting her and she's having a hard time. Oh my God. Really not very good. They showed only a couple of seconds of it on her. And, you know, she has an old Thai-style house, wooden house, and the snake supposedly got in that way. Holy moly, man. And this snake, I mean, it had her. Regarding this particular escape that escaped, it is unlikely to return as it was beaten and stabbed. It will know that this area is unsafe. Well, that's good for her. When his venomous animal toxicology team arrived at the scene, they didn't find this snake, but caught a medium-sized python and 2 other snakes, indicating that this area is snake habitat. And that is the problem with Thailand. And I'm going to the south, and let me tell you, I'm very careful about snakes, and I just don't trust it down there because you got these Malaysian pit vipers, you got adders, you got cobras, you got all kinds of stuff down there. And so if you are walking in some areas, I mean, some areas it's like there's grass up to your waist, up to your thighs, and it's hard to see. So if you're walking in flip-flops and some snake just wants to bite you, that's it. And then, you know, who knows, you could be done. You don't get to a place quick, you're done. Yeah, this is nasty. Poor lady, 64 years old. Unbelievable. And the snake was wrapped around her legs and her waist. She was lucky. She was very, very lucky. Nick Wildlife, a snake expert. His name is Nick Wildlife. Interesting. All right, so, you know, let's get away from that. But what is this? I'm talking just for you. I've been doing it over 20 years. And only now it's my job. Yes, it is. Everyone has a phone. They're great. Well, I hope to see some photos from you. I mean, I have a lot of cameras. I still have 6 or 7 cameras, something like that. I mean, I love this. Listen, this is probably, this camera right here is probably my favorite camera of all time. And it doesn't look like much, but it is a fantastic camera because of this Minolta lens. Very, very good. And I think I bought this one for 75 bucks. And I got another one over here. My other ones are put away down in the drawer. I got this one right here. And I bought this is similar to that one. It's a Minolta. Great lens. This is for like street stuff and just, you know, portrait, stuff like that. But this I bought for like 25 bucks. So good. I love these things. Then I got a Nikon F2. I got a Fuji camera. Then I got another Fuji camera, and I don't even know what other ones I got. I got a couple other ones. Yeah. I mean, I still like film, but honestly, uh, film cameras can get a bit pricey compared to digital cameras now. So I got to think about that. Let's see here. Foreign tourists asked to leave illegal luxury villas in Koh Samui. Hmm. A demolition order for 19 luxury villas from two major projects on Koh Samui has been ignored. Recent inspections have revealed that the operators continue to illegally rent out the villas to tourists on a daily and monthly basis, raking in hundreds of thousands of baht. Now, apparently these were inspected. The inspection found a violation of the 2019 ban on the use of buildings under the Samui Municipal Control Act. A luxury villa in Lamai was found to be occupied by a tourist from Luxembourg. A D750 Z8 Canon R6. D750, okay. Z8, yeah. Yeah, those are good cameras. It's not, I know that people think, oh, what camera do you have? I can take photos like that too. Oh, I've got an iPhone. My wife says it all the time. She's always like, you don't know how to take photos. I'm like, Jesus Christ. It's like you're taking a photo with an iPhone. She's like, take the angle down, not angle up. Oh, if you want to make somebody look tall, angle up. I'm like, honey, I know this shit. But like try doing it where you don't use automatic settings, where you're using settings that you are setting those knobs to where you want everything to be, so that you can do pretty much whatever you want. You can make it darker, lighter. You can do whatever you want. What is this? I'm just talking. What about Polaroids of ladyboys? I don't know. I leave that to you, MGTOW. I guess if that's a man going their own way, like hanging around with ladyboys and doing the ladyboys, that's up to you, buddy. My kid has a Fuji camera that is Polaroid, and it's the little mini Polaroids, but it's expensive, man. Those are expensive. You got to buy the film, and I'm like, Jesus Christ. Lucky it didn't wrap around her chest. Yeah. So anyway, all right, let's go on here. Where was I? 3 Americans. I hate to say this, and this is a little off topic, but 3 Americans have been sentenced to death in the Congo over a failed coup. And what this has to do with is 3 Americans went to the Congo and they engaged in this coup, and they got arrested, and so now they're sentenced to the death penalty. So let's see here. What are their names? Armed men briefly occupied an office of the presidency in the capital, Kinshasa, on May 19th. It didn't take them very long to bring him to justice. Before their leader, U.S.-based Congolese politician Christian Malanga, was killed by security forces. His son, Marcel Malanga, was among the Americans on trial, with Marcel's friend Tyler Thompson, who played high school football with him in Utah. Both are in their 20s. The third American, Benjamin Zalman Poloun, was a business associate of Christian Malanga. All 3 were found guilty of criminal conspiracy, terrorism, and other charges, and sentenced to death in a ruling read on live TV. Malanga had previously told the court that his father had threatened to kill him unless he participated. I kind of find that a little bit hard to believe, that since he was in the Congo. He also told the court it was his first time visiting the Congo at the invitation of his father, whom he had not seen in years. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I remember this now, but the Americans are among 50 people, including U.S., British, Canadian, Belgian, and Congolese citizens, standing trial following the failed coup. 37 defendants were sentenced to death. The verdict was read out under a tent in the yard of Ndulu military prison on the outskirts of Kinshasa. The defendants were seated in front of the judge wearing blue and yellow prison-issued tops. The trial began in July. An appeal can be made. They're saying, oh, they're innocent, they're innocent. Marcel Malanga's mother, Brittany Sawyer, has previously said her son is innocent. Thompson's stepmother, Miranda Thompson, has previously said her stepson traveled to Congo on vacation to explore the world. So it's kind of like somebody like me going there. You get caught up in something, and then now you're sentenced to death. Thompson is feeling lonely and isolated in prison. That's to be expected, according to the fundraising site that his family set up to support his defense. I feel for these guys, but you know what? When you go somewhere like the Congo, you got to be very, very careful. You don't stick your nose into a place where it doesn't belong. And even in Thailand, this kind of thing can happen. And that's why I say, if you're a foreigner, stay out of politics, man. Don't go into protest trying to be part of the protest. I have photographed protests. I've been a journalist photographing protests. Here I had my press card. The numerous times that there were coup attempts and all this other kind of stuff, I photographed it. But I had my press card. It's kind of unlikely that they would arrest me for being part of the protest unless I engaged in some activity, like I started throwing rocks at the police or tried to shoot them or something like that. Then they would go after me. But they have, in all my time here, the Thai police have been really good to me, and the military has been good to me. The only thing that I would say is that a couple of times the military has said to me, "Let me see your press card." Here you go. Okay, boom, you're through. No problem. And that was it. And then from then on, it was, where I was, what happened to me it was my own choice. And the last time I was with Mr. Billy, he decided to go along on one day. I went a couple other days, and then he went. And that's when I had a jam up in my film camera, which just sucked because I got some great shots of the Thai police shooting down from an on-ramp and an overpass, shooting down to the protesters. And I thought, oh, these are going to be great. And the next thing I know, I'm like, oh, shit. My film was all jammed up, and it didn't come out. Nothing happened. All right, 400 baht minimum wage. I talked about this the other day. It's unlikely to happen by October 1st. The daily minimum wage hike to 400 baht nationwide cannot be introduced on October 1st as planned after some members of the tripartite wage committee failed to attend a meeting to discuss the proposed wage increase yet again on Friday. Some employees and government officials on the 15-member committee did not show up, resulting in a lack of quorum. The meeting requires a quorum of at least 2/3 or 10 members to vote on the matter, but only 9 were present. As a result, the remaining committee members could not vote on the matter and only discussed issues related to the potential impacts of the wage hike. A new meeting is scheduled for next Tuesday to review the wage rise proposal, which will apply to companies or factories with at least 200 workers. Oh, that makes a difference to 200 workers. You got to have 200 workers to make 400 baht. I didn't see that. That's a big stipulation. That's a big thing to consider. On Monday, the wage committee, comprised of employees, employers, and the government, met to push the government's 400 baht minimum wage policy. However, 5 employer representatives did not attend, claiming they had other engagements. Oh yeah, I have more important engagements. What's more important than your job to oversee that? I don't know. I can't really think of much. Let's see. Committee members must attend the next meeting and vote on the wage proposal themselves. They cannot send representatives to vote on their behalf. I don't know why they just keep talking about the numbers here. But I can tell you that the less they're paying people, the more money that's being made by the people that have money, and they get to keep their money. Half of the industries aren't labor intensive and are prepared to pay 7 to 900 baht to skilled workers. That's still not very much. However, such workers are hard to find. We should have a discussion to fine tune the policy to avoid it becoming a debate. Raising the daily minimum wage was a key election promise of the Putai-led government. Government aims to increase the wage to 400 baht during its first year in power and to 600 baht by 2027. Now think about that. 600 baht. That's not even $20 a day. If they're working 10 hours, which I would say a lot of people, they work 10 hours, that's $2 an hour. I know it's better than $1 an hour, but $2 an hour is shit. I'm sorry. And I don't know how they can get around it. I really don't know, because people are used to having cheap labor. Now, the 400 baht daily wage was approved by the tripartite committee on March 26, and it took effect in parts of 10 provinces on April 13, including Phuket, Koh Samui in Suratani, Pattaya in Chonburi, Chiang Mai City in Chiang Mai, and Pathumwan and Watthana districts of Bangkok. This applied to tourism-related businesses and 4-star hotels with at least 50 employees. Okay. All right. Well, I don't know. I hope they make a little bit of money, you know. Aloha, Mr. Scott, back to Thailand next week. Oh, Cyrus, there you are. How you doing? FAFO in the Congo. I don't know what that means. Now, a newborn baby was discovered abandoned in a restroom at Kaupong Saket Putachan Temple in the Takhian Tia subdistrict of East Pattaya. Wow. Somebody just left the baby there. A monk at the temple found the infant wrapped in a towel and covered with a pink satin cloth. Though ants were seen crawling on the cloth, the baby, who has fair skin, was unharmed. Rescue workers quickly responded, transferring the newborn to Bang Lamung Hospital for full medical care and checkup. Pramikam recounted the moments up to the discovery, explaining how he had been drinking coffee. Everybody's drinking coffee when he heard faint cries. Unable to immediately locate the source, he followed the sound to a restroom with a tightly closed door. As the cries grew louder, he opened the door and found the infant abandoned inside. Local resident Sompon Meet Alai, 50, who had come to the temple to make merit, expressed her desire to adopt the baby, as she has no children of her own. Villagers at the scene expressed sorrow and anger, condemning the parents' action. I mean, who does that? It just grinds my gears. Some commented on how fortunate it was that the baby wasn't found by one of the monitor lizards. Oh. Common in the surrounding forest. Well, that's true. Fuck around and find out. I mean, listen, I know a little bit about the Congo, and, I've been trying to get there for a long time, but yeah, definitely, that is not a place where you want to mess around. Neither is Thailand. I mean, I'll be honest, you don't want to mess around here. You want to you mess around here and you want to find out, well, they'll throw you in jail. And you think, oh yeah, everything's grand. Well, okay, everything's grand while they have you in the jail. Hey, you can walk around, you can do what you want, get your food, whatever. If you got money, okay, great. Once you go to prison, that's a different story. Police arrived shortly afterwards to document the scene and launched an investigation to identify the baby's parents and bring them to justice. As they should. They should go to justice. They should to suffer the consequences. Unbelievable, man. I mean, who leaves a little baby laying there in a towel with ants all over it? That's kind of sad. Let me see here. It's pretty. What is this? It's pretty easy to avoid going to jail for anyone with a brain. Well, yeah. You know, and I gotta say, you know, I've been talking about a couple of YouTubers, and you know, not really anything specific, but you know, I talked about yesterday, the day before yesterday, I was talking about the guy who went to Indonesia. He went to Lombok. Now, Lombok is not an especially dangerous place. Indonesia is not an especially dangerous place. You just speak to people with respect and mind your P's and Q's, and that's it. I've been there many, many times. Carlos, say, how you doing? How's the weather? I've been there many times to Indonesia. I've never had a problem. I've been with Indonesian friends, and I've been there alone. And all I would say is just be polite. That's it. Be polite. If you get yourself in a situation, keep your calm. Be polite, just like you do here. You get carried away, and you start telling people that they can piss off. They ain't gonna do shit. Oh, you're no good. Blah blah blah. You're scamming me. You start getting into this kind of a situation, and you may go to jail, or you might just get the holy piss beat out of you. And here in Thailand, in Indonesia, in Cambodia, in Myanmar, in Southeast Asia, it's the kind of place where if you do something wrong, people take matters into their own hands. And the police don't show up. The police go, oh, no evidence. Oh, we can't do anything. Or, you know, if the police look into it and go, well, why'd you do that? You know. I love Lombok. It's a beautiful paradise. How come people aren't polite and respectful? It's an embarrassment. Well, in this case, the guy rented a motorbike. He said he didn't wreck it or anything like that. Then when he showed up again, part of the motorbike had, was cracked, and there were some scratches on it and stuff like that. Now, the guy said 500,000 Indonesian rupiah, which is about 32 bucks. And instead of just saying, okay, you know what? Listen, I am not going to win here. I don't want to win here. Your job and your goal is not to win. Your job is to get out of Dodge and move on to another place so that hopefully you'll be safe and nothing will happen to you. So what does he do? Oh, no, I'm not going to pay that much. I'm not going to pay. No, you're scamming me. And pissed the guy off, and the guy basically punched him, kicked him, and got aggressive. And first of all, this kid, he's like, oh, I could have taken the guy. Okay, maybe you could have. He's young, the other guy's old. But I can tell you that there's a lot of people out there, they do know how to fight. And you start a fight with them, they might just hit you with like a 1, 2, 3 and a knee to the face or an elbow, and you're done. So you have to be careful. And this guy was not careful. He was a bit stupid, and I'm like, I think he's 20 years old. He wrote a check his ass could not cash. Yeah, I mean, you got to be smart. Here's the thing. Is it better to be smart and wrong or smart and right? Doesn't matter if it's right or wrong. But is it better to be smart and get out of the situation, or is it better to be foolish because you know you're right and you end up going to jail, getting an ass beating, or whatever it is? I can tell you, listen, you cannot have an ego. And that's the thing. Drop your ego. I know there's plenty of guys out there, they can kick ass. But sometimes it's like, listen, you got 3 guys here. They're going to fight you. And you know what? You might kick all their asses. You might take a little bit of a beating, but then at the end of the day, the police are going to arrest you. They're going to arrest you because you're the one who started it. You know, it's simple, man. It doesn't take any rocket science to figure this out. Yeah, well, I mean, we've been saying that for a long time, Carlos. You know, um, but I mean, this guy's a kid, and I kind of like the kid. I think he's all right. He's a bit goofy, but I like the kid. Oh, yeah. But then when I saw this, I went, "Oh, dude, you are making a major mistake." And it's just like Then he said, and I talked about this the other day. But he said, "Oh, I got onto this boat, and before I got this really luxury boat, and it was $30, and now I'm paying 40, and it's for this piece of shit, and there's no air conditioning, and I'm getting sick, and I'm like, dude, you just don't get it, man. You know what? Listen, when I went on, I've been on many things where I suffered, many rides, many trips. I was suffering. Some I didn't film them. I mean, I didn't, But the last one I can think about is when I went to Vietnam on the sleeper bus from Laos. That was a horrible trip. Horrible. Now, I could have bitched and moaned and said, "Hey, listen, you're only supposed to have 50 people on this bus, and you got people laying on top of me and laying over everybody. And, I'm supposed to be able to sit up and relax, and, oh, this sucks." I could have done that. And believe me, I was thinking to myself, God, if they drop me off, maybe I can get a helicopter and get out of here. I was thinking, oh, God, I got to get out of this place. But I didn't say anything. I just kept going, one click more, one click more, one click more. We'll be closer and closer. Then you get to a place and you go, oh, God, I can go to the bathroom, finally, because they didn't want to stop. So you go to the bathroom, you get your food, you charge up a little, and you go, okay, now we got 4 hours left. That's nothing. I can do it in my sleep. By the time I got there, I was like, God, I'm so glad to be here. I was in Hanoi. I go, I'm so glad to be here. And that's the thing. You just do it one little step at a time, and you don't bitch and piss and moan about everything. I mean, you can bitch and piss and moan to yourself. This sucks. What a shitty ride. I shouldn't have done this. How stupid can I be? Okay, great. But you're not bitching to other people. Oh, I would never do this. Oh, no way. Listen, you chose to do it. You chose to do it. Maybe you didn't know it was going to be this bad. Okay. But you know what? You'll get through it. It's like I hear people saying, oh, I'm not going to eat for one day. I'm fasting for a day. Is that so bad? I mean, if you don't eat for one day, are you going to die? No, you're not. So what's the problem? It's one day. I don't understand it. Okay, now, you may have heard that, there's QR codes in Thailand. There are QR codes in Vietnam. There are QR codes in Laos. There are QR codes in many countries in Southeast Asia. And supposedly, you can use the QR codes from one country with your bank account here. Like I could use a Vietnamese QR code and pay for it with my Thai bank account. That's what I thought. And I looked all over and said, oh, yeah, it's done deal. It's just like a year and a half, 2 years ago, even 3 years ago. Well, yesterday tried to pay for a hotel. I said, can I please have the QR code? Let me give it a try. Tried it out. My wife tried it twice. I tried it. Nope, can't do it. You cannot do it. And I'm like, well, what is wrong? I don't understand it. So either something is wrong with the system and it's not working, which that could very well be, or they never implemented it and I didn't see anything about that, or, for whatever reason, their bank is not does not work with my bank, but I thought if I'm using Bangkok Bank, which it says they are one of the ones that, and Siam Commercial and I think Krung Sui, they are the ones who are implementing this. And then you use some of the banks in Vietnam, and the one I was looking at, hey, they were using that one too, and it didn't work. Now, a new 6-country tourist visa is planned by the Foreign Ministry, as well as the electronic travel authorization, which again, just like the tax problem, the tax issue that foreigners are looking at, it has not been finalized. It has not been finalized. It has not been. It's not anywhere near where it needs to be. So as of now, it's just conjecture. But supposedly Thailand is working on this, and I believe that. 6 countries, 1 destination visa aims to boost tourism but raises security concerns. Let's see, seen by many as one of the more decisive cabinet ministers, Minister of Foreign Affairs Maris Sangiampongsa gave an overview of his ministry's plan to assemble members of the press corps at the ministry in Bangkok. Okay, so that doesn't, whatever. The minister confirmed that the new ETA system, in particular, he announced plans for a new visa regime that would allow access to Thailand and its 5 neighboring countries such as Myanmar, Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam, and Malaysia. The minister, did it say? Oh, okay, Malaysia. The minister emphasized that the ministry was working with the government to boost the country's economy. At the same time, he insisted Thailand would remain a neutral player in geopolitics. The latter commitment is increasingly being examined as tensions between China and the United States in the region have grown substantially. All right, so let me see this here. Mr. Maris highlighted the new DTV or Destination Thailand visa, which had been hailed as a game changer. I don't know that it is, honestly. I want to look at the specifics again because I don't remember them off the top of my head. But what I remember, let's see here. Yeah. Document. Okay, financial evidence of no less than 500,000 baht, or a sponsorship letter, bank statements, blah blah blah. Employment contract or employment certificate in their country or professional portfolio showcasing digital nomad, remote worker, foreign talent, or freelancer status. I could have qualified for that back when I was working as a photographer, and I did qualify for a media visa, and that made it very easy. Thai soft power related activities, Muay Thai, Thai culinary training, and medical treatment. Doesn't say anything about the ED in here, the ED visa. It's basically the same thing. Proof of confirmation to attend the activity or letter of appointment from hospital medical center. So basically, the workation and the Thai soft power activity are pretty much the same. Basically, you need to have a company that's going to work with you. Spouse and children under 20 years old of DTV visa holders. Yeah, see, I have a spouse, but she's Thai. So you still have to have all these things, and you have to see the visa of the DTV holder, and then you have to prove your relationship, which is easy to do. But somebody has to have the visa already. So validity is 5 years, and let's see here. Limits working within the country. Allows working online professionals with contracts and activities outside Thailand to live and work from Thailand. The visa is for 5 years and offers a 180-day stay, which can be renewed from outside the country quite easily. So every 180 days, you got to go outside the country, which sucks. Key requirement is that the applicants must have 500,000 baht, must not work or gain income from within Thailand. Thailand's July 15th visa revolution offers radical benefits for travelers to and from the kingdom, with more to come. Certainly, the overhaul of Thailand's visa system, which has already come into force, was substantial. Okay, I guess. Uh, it included broader access to the kingdom from foreign countries and a new foreign tourism visa, which can be easily extended for up to 90 days at a time. Furthermore, its fine prints and terms were changed, making it renewable at all times with ease. Yeah, this stuff, now they have so many visas. This is just like AIS. You go to AIS and you ask them, can I have your best plan, please? And they give you a choice of, 5 or 10 plans. Oh, which one would you like, sir? I don't know. You tell me, which one do you think is best suited for me? Then they give you, 2 places, and you go, oh, these, oh, okay. Then later on you find out, oh, this other one, I can get free calls. I can get, 10 hours of free calls every month. You go, well, how come I didn't get this one? Oh, yeah, but you can't get the, what do you call it? The messages. You can't get messages with media in it. What do I care? I don't send any messages with media in it. And if I do, I'll pay the 3 baht or 2 baht or whatever it is. So that's kind of what the visa system and immigration is like now. They're just like these phone companies where they give you a million choices, and you're like going, well, which one should I choose? The new 6-in-1 visa plan must raise security concerns, especially given the extent of crime cartels operating across the borders with each of the 5 neighboring states. Now, what were the... Let me see here. Oh, it didn't have China in here, which is... At the same time, there's been a demand from foreigners visiting Thailand to be able to cross into neighboring countries with ease and flexibility. Well, there is. You go into Cambodia and it's like, what, 25 bucks? 30 bucks for the visa? No big deal. Mr. Maris did not give full details yet on the visa. Par for the course. It is seen as linked to Thailand's ambition to become a tourism and transit hub in Southeast Asia. I got news for them. They're already a tourism and transit hub in Southeast Asia. I don't think there's anywhere else that is better than Thailand in Southeast Asia. Now, you want to factor in like Hong Kong, or you want to look at maybe Indonesia or Singapore. I still don't think that they beat out Thailand. At the same time, the minister confirmed the introduction of an electronic travel authorization visa system in the coming year. He said it would help enhance the travel experience for travelers to Thailand and improve security. Listen, people don't care about this, and they don't want it. I can tell you that right now. People don't want that extra step. Now, if they have to do it, they will do it. But they don't want the extra. Let me have the electronic travel authorization because it's going to make things safer. And I'll be able... No, now you can just come right into the country. With this, you have to file paperwork with the Ministry of Tourism, and then you have to get a paper back from them, supposedly within 24 to 72 hours. This was revealed previously on Thursday by the Ministry of Tourism and Sports. Certainly, it appears that this is to become a blanket requirement for all inbound travelers when it goes live, probably next year. Well, hopefully not for people like moi. Also, there will be a 300 baht tourist levy and insurance. Indeed, the theme of the foreign minister's address to the press was one of strengthening Thailand's position in the world. Yeah, okay. In particular, his ministry is seen as having a more important role in developing trade and economic expansion. China-Thailand permanent visa waiver raises concerns over increasing economic ties and mobility. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, let me see here. I don't know what they're going to try to do here. In short, the kingdom maintains tabs on some 93 foreign missions around the world. Their goal is to represent Thailand, assist Thai communities in foreign countries, and forge new relationships, particularly economic opportunities. Of course, they're always thinking about the money. Money number one. Thailand is an unaligned nation, and their goal is to develop peace and prosperity. All right. I don't even want to talk about China and U.S., and I don't want to talk about that. Now, one thing that I saw here, which is interesting to me because I've been to this area before, Myanmar's Rakhine State, which is also known as the Arakan State, and their army is known as the Arakan Army. They are just about ready to seize control of the state as the junta, their power is crumbling. Strategic Sitwe is under threat. I've been to Sitwe. This is probably about 10 years ago, 9 years ago. I've been there by myself. I went there, and all I can say is, wow, it's a fantastic place. But I was in an area where there were no vehicles. It was only motorbikes and like tractors. That was it. They didn't allow cars. These concerns must take a back seat for now as anti-junta forces emphasize the united front against the despised regime in Naypyidaw. That's really all I'm going to say about it. They're going to, hopefully they'll take over it. They are strengthening their hold over Western Rakhine as the junta is struggling and losing ground on all fronts. They want to create an independent Rakhine state. I had no problem when I was there. People were really nice to me. I mean, that's how it is sometimes. The people are really nice, and then, but if you're talking about certain people that they are up against, then they're not so nice. It says here, at the same time, it says here, despite leadership efforts, Arakan Army faces accusations of persecution from Rohingya Muslims. Well, they faced that when I was there, and that was a big deal. And I went and photographed that, and they were against each other big time. And they actually told me when I started going into the Muslim area, be careful, they'll cut your head off. That's what the Buddhists were telling me. Be careful, those Muslims will cut your head off. And I was like, oh man, do I really want to keep going? From Cox's Bazar in Bangladesh, there are widespread reports from Muslim Rohingya that they are being systematically persecuted by the Arakan Army victors. This comes despite calls from the Arakan Army leadership for Rohingya Muslims to join forces. Indeed, it renamed itself the Arakan Army to represent all communities within the Rakhine state. All right, I'm not going to continue with this, but nobody really thinks about Myanmar that much. They don't really, they're not thinking about, hey, what's going on in Myanmar? Hey, how come we're not helping them? It just doesn't happen. And I just saw a thing today. Where is it? Okay, here it is right here. Thailand grants few asylum claims in first year of program. Amid a reported surge in cross-border repression across Southeast Asia, rights advocates in Thailand say Thailand is making promising but very slow progress rolling out an asylum program meant to protect the most vulnerable refugees. They say many who might be eligible for the program are reluctant to apply for fear of exposing themselves to the police, and that coming forward could backfire. Now, what I'm going to say, I have a friend in Myanmar, and I think some of you may know him. His name is Nanda. He's my fixer. He's been a friend for, God, now it's 15, 18 years, something like that. It's a long time. And he's written me a couple of times, and he wants to be able to get his son to come over to Thailand to study. I said to him, can you can't you become a refugee? Well, now I'm reading this, his chances are slim to none. And so he's like, I don't know how to get over there. I said, well, get a tourist visa and then try to find a job. I said, I really don't know. And yeah, so all these Burmese that are over here now, I wonder, are they here legally or illegally? Do they know they're here? What's going on? I don't know. But I see, every day I see a couple of hundred Burmese every day. So they're not letting them in. There's some 500 asylum seekers are living in Thailand, but the rights groups say the true number is likely to be higher. Thailand had made itself increasingly dangerous for asylum seekers over the past decade through what rights groups claim is an arrangement with its neighbors to forcibly return each other's dissidents, regardless of potential persecution, including arrest, torture, and death. In recent years, Thailand has arrested and forced dozens of dissidents and members of persecuted ethnic minorities back to their home countries, including China. A rights activist from Vietnam, E. Quinh Blap, was arrested in Bangkok in June and is now on trial for possible extradition back to Vietnam, where he is wanted for fomenting a deadly riot he says he had nothing to do with. Once accepted into Thailand's new asylum program, refugees should be safe from a forced return home, but rights advocates say the NSM is moving far too slowly to cope with the need. So, they're not doing anything about it. It's not going to happen. Listen, do me a favor. I'd appreciate it. If you haven't already, please subscribe and click the notification bell. Check down below in the description for any ways that you can follow me, view what I'm doing. You can use any of these things here to support the channel, the Cash App. Become a sponsor on YouTube for $1.99. Thank you, Michael, today. Buy me a coffee. There's merch down below. There's merch down below. Get one of my books, whatever. It doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want to do. That's what I say. Do whatever you want to do. But we don't have a lot of. We have a few people in here today, and not a lot of people talking right now, which is too bad. It's only me. I'm the mouth. I'm the one who keeps yapping. Let me see something. I just got a news alert. Is there anything? Let's see here. Maldives, Spanish. Okay, the only thing I see here is this one. Let me see if I can. Oh, this is YouTube. I don't want to see that. Sorry. Live in France for under $1,100 a month. Oh, bonjour. Bonjour. Another video we don't want to watch. Leading figure questions Phuket's over-touristed label. Tanet Tantipiria Kit, president of the Phuket Tourism Association, has challenged Phuket being branded the most crowded tourist destination in the world, as reported by UK daily newspapers, citing a survey posted online by a money transfers website. The report in the UK press, including the Daily Express and the Mirror, sparked a slew of rewritten articles by a host of websites, all repeating the same report. One article featured the headline, "Phuket's over-tourism is Thailand's holiday hotspot ruined," without the article even checking the data sources. Well, I don't know. I mean, I look at it like this. I don't know if Phuket's number one, but Phuket that's a tourist trap. Now it's a tourist trap. It's very nice. There's a lot of nice things there. It's kind of like Hua Hin now. Somebody asked me about Hua Hin the other day. Hua Hin is nice, but there's a lot of tourists there. That's just the way it goes. And you're gonna have to look kind of hard to find a place where there are not a huge number of tourists that are basically driving the prices up, uh, increasing the traffic and pollution. And basically, you're going to have to look around to find places that are not like Phuket. I mean, really, I don't know what else to say. The official population of Phuket is around 400,000, but there's a hidden population of Thais who still maintain their original registration everywhere in Thailand. Many bring their families, including children and grandchildren, to live and study here. Yeah. When looking at its money transfers website, it looks like over tourism because of the hidden population who did not register. I'm afraid that the image reflected through the numbers may be exaggerated, to use the word over touristed, because it portrays that wherever you walk in Phuket, you will only see international visitors or tourists. Uh, I mean, you'll see some Thais, of course, but you're going to see a lot of tourists. I'd say 7 out of 10 are tourists. Unless you're walking into the lobby of a hotel, then you got a bunch of people working behind the scenes, and they're all Thai, and you have very few, unless it's a really busy hotel, you have very few foreigners. But by using that word, it feels like tourists are everywhere. They are. But in reality, if you come to Phuket and try to take pictures at Patong, Kata, Karen, Rawai, or other beaches or popular destinations like Phuket Old Town, you will not feel like there are so many people that there is no place to walk. No, you may not feel like that. I understand that. Even in Kata, I went places and I mean there it was absolutely congested. There were so many people. Then I went a couple places and it wasn't so busy. Okay, that doesn't mean that it's not the busiest place or one of the busiest places. I don't know if it is the busiest place, because anytime you say something like that, it's subjective, to who are you looking at, what are your criteria. But when there are reports with research done like this, it does not reflect reality. They didn't come down to look. The survey report posted online by Money Transfers, titled "The Most and Least Over-Touristed Destination Around the World" and marked as provided by contributor data analyst Yasmin Purnell, determined that the number of tourists visiting Phuket on average outnumbered local residents by 118 to 1. I remember this article. The article stated in its methodology, we source data on international arrivals from Euromonitor International Study and all population data and figures for the most visited countries from World Population Review. These data sets were then used to calculate the estimated number of tourists per inhabitant for each city and country. The report gave Phuket the title Most Over-Touristed Destination Around the World with a rating of 118.5 tourists per residence. That sounds about right to me. Could be wrong, but Pattaya placed second with a ratio of 98.7, while the rural province of Krabi placed third with a ratio of 72.2. Now, the times that I've been in Krabi, I didn't see all that many people, but I do know, just from the places that I went, it was set up for tourists. I've been to it before COVID and after, and I think it's a very busy place. I don't know if it's as busy as these other places. It's hard for me to comment on it when I don't live in any of these places. I don't go to any of these places. I don't really know. All three destinations in Thailand are prone to the same problem of underreporting the actual number of local residents due to Thais not updating the local address with civil registration database, as doing so would cost them their right to vote in their home constituency in their home province. Okay, but that's not the magazine's problem. That's not the publication's problem. If Thailand has a problem with, okay, well, we only take these people, we only show that the population is this much because they're not registering. How do they know that? The highest ranked over tourist destination outside Thailand went to Mugla, Turkey, which placed fourth with a ratio of 40.2, followed by Hurghada, Egypt, with a ratio of 28.6. The Phuket News emailed moneytransfers.com for confirmation of the figures. However, at the time of press, 5 days later, the Phuket News still has yet to receive a reply. What do they expect, man? Come on. Due to the nature of the methodology reported, it cannot be determined whether or not the figure used for the number of tourists includes domestic tourists, that is, Thais visiting from other provinces. Well, I would like to know that. I don't think that that's the case, though. I think it's Westerners. And if I go to Phuket, I know the majority of people I see, say at Soi Bangla, Kata, some of these other areas, they're all foreigners. You got people working there that are Thai. You got people helping with the tourism industry, they are Thai. But most of the people, to me, I don't know what the percentage is, it's extremely high. You go there, to me, it's a tourist trap. Hua Hin is a tourist trap. Pattaya, tourist trap. Even Chiang Mai, to some extent, is a little bit of a tourist trap. You're down in the center of Chiang Mai. That's a tourist trap, man. A tourist trap is somewhere where there are just nothing but tourists, and this is where all the tourists want to be. That's where they come, that's where they stay. That's what it means to me. And personally, I don't really like those kind of places. I like more laid back, like when I went to Canon. How many foreigners did I see in Canon? I went to the market, I saw a handful, like less than 5. In the entire time, other than that, I probably saw another 5. I saw 10 tourists in Canon and Sichuan in, I don't know how many days, 3-4 days. That's it. I didn't see tourist after tourist after tourist walking around. I didn't see any of that. In fact, like I said, the reason I like to drive there, that it was okay for me to drive there, is because there was almost nobody on the road. Let's see here. Regarding international visitors, the one agency that can provide statistics on the number of foreigners actually on Phuket at any time is Phuket Immigration. By law, all owners and or operators of rented accommodations must report any foreigner staying at their properties, regardless whether the foreigners are tourists or not. However, Phuket Immigration has stopped publicly reporting that figure. There you go. Let me see here. Oh, they're making a big deal about this because, I hate to say this, but, being known as the place that has the most tourists to locals is not really a good thing for their reputation. Having a more accurate population for Phuket will lead to better budget allocation. The current provincial development budget is only about 160 to 170 million, less than some other provinces. Even though Phuket generated more than 300 billion in income in 2023, this year it may reach 600 billion. As the first 6 months of the year, Phuket has already generated more than 246 billion. The government only allocated this much for the budget, so instead of focusing on research, I would like to see the existing hidden population move their registration correctly for other benefits, such as budget allocation to develop the province more and more services to be provided more comprehensively. It's especially important when it comes to hospitals and medical treatment. The budget allocated is only the registered population. Well, that's what it is everywhere. But the actual number of people local facilities need to treat is much, much higher. This is a big problem. I don't know. I guess we could talk about this all day long. Luckily, the number of tourists in Bangkok are diluted by the high Thai population. The tourist trap is more where everything is priced for tourists, meaning everything is very expensive. And you don't think that's how it is in Phuket? You don't think that's how it is in Hua Hin or Pattaya? I mean, Pattaya, okay, if you're an expat living there, hey, you can get things for cheap. If you are someone who doesn't really know Pattaya, okay, Pattaya may be a little anomaly. Chiang Mai, okay, you may not pay, uh, uh, top dollar. So maybe I don't know. Maybe that means they're not tourist traps. But I would say Phuket for sure is a tourist trap because everything is expensive there. Are computer games a thing in Thailand? Yes, they are a thing. Jesus Christ. It's no different than the United States or anywhere else. There's all kinds of computer games. There's computer shops that are full of games. That's all they do is play games in the computer shops. There are plenty of PlayStation 5s available. Whatever you want to play, you can get it here. Very easy. So I'm kind of waiting to hear back about this. Uh, Everything is priced for tourists, meaning everything is very expensive. Because if you are talking about in Phuket, for sure, Phuket's a tourist trap, man. No matter how you slice it. Anyway, it's slow today. It's slow. Not like computer cafes. They are computer cafes. Let me see here. I already went over this one. I already went over this one. Let's see, what is this? I already went over this one. Very good. Ooh, yeah. Ugh. Alrighty, what is it right now? 10:25. Desperate Cambodian mother nabbed in jewelry heist at Thai market. What market is this? In Samut Bakan. Where's Dowlow when you need him? Yes, if anywhere is a tourist trip in Thailand, it's Phuket. Yeah, most definitely. Um, a Cambodian woman attempted to steal 3 red gold necklaces from a jewelry store in Samut Bakan province. She was apprehended by bystanders while holding the necklaces and visibly shaking with fear. I already know. I read this one earlier, and I feel bad for this lady. The incident occurred at 1:40 p.m. on September 20th. Officers from Bang Pli police station took her into custody for questioning and charged her with theft. She stated she was a chicken farmer who had traveled from Kabinbari district in Prachinburi province that Friday to visit her aunt near the incident location. Unable to find her aunt, she went to the market where she had previously sold gold. She intended to steal the red gold necklaces to sell in Cambodia. She pretended to examine the 3 necklaces and, when the staff was distracted, grabbed them and ran. However, locals and store employees caught her in the parking lot. She explained she stole the 60,000 baht. She stole due to a 60,000 baht debt incurred to support her 2 children, receiving no help from her husband. She believed the red gold necklaces would fetch a high price in Cambodia, enough to repay her debts. A 59-year-old noodle shop owner who witnessed the incident recounted seeing the suspect examining the necklaces before hearing the staff's cry for help. Vendors then chased and caught the thief in the market's parking lot. Wow. She stated that the suspect had a work permit for Thailand and was employed at a chicken farm in Prachinburi. I guarantee you she's not making big money. Due to the nature of the crime, she was charged with theft by snatching. According to Section 336 of the Criminal Code, theft by snatching is punishable by up to 5 years imprisonment and a fine not exceeding 100,000 baht. If the act causes physical or mental harm to others, the penalty increases to 2 to 7 years imprisonment and a fine of 40 to 140,000 bahts. Now, apparently she was having problems and she thought that was her only way out. Too bad. Yes, if anywhere is a tour. Okay, can a Ferran go to a shop and play Doom or Wolfen? Dude, why are you asking these stupid questions? Ferran are not excluded from entering cafes. That's just bullshit. Ridiculous. And Hua Hin, I can tell you Hua Hin, I went there 3 years ago. This is during COVID. I went there. And I was surprised because I've been there many, many times, and I've been there before. I've been there many years ago when Thais were really the only ones who went to Hua Hin. Back 30 years ago, 25 years ago, most foreigners didn't really go to Hua Hin. Now they do. And I was very surprised at the traffic, the pollution, how crowded the place was, and how it was a tourist trap. And, Chiang Mai is a big province. So, yes, parts of Chiang Mai are a tourist trap, but there are other parts that you're out in the middle of nowhere, and, of course you can go, man. It's ridiculous. If this is all you think about in coming to Thailand, that and your lady boys, well, dude, you need to get a grip. Really, you need to get a grip, man. It just takes money. That's what it is. It takes money. You got money enough to come here. You got money enough to stay here. You got money enough to play video games. You got money enough for the lady boys. But then you got all the money and all the fun you can handle. You got all the money that you need, and you got all the fun you can handle. That's how it works. Unbelievable. Hospital swaps babies. Thai father spots difference in eyebrows. Samut Sakon. My father was shocked when he took his newborn for treatment at Katumban Hospital in Katumban District, Samut Sakon Province. The baby he received back didn't have eyebrows like his child. When he questioned the hospital, they responded that newborns are like this. Their faces change every day. Oh, come on. On September 16th, Dr. Surawit Sakdanupap, Samut Sakon Provincial Public Health Doctor, along with Dr. Tamawitya Kuakunkiat, Director of Katumban Hospital. Damn, that's a tongue twister, man. You don't have to pronounce it that way. That's the thing, buddy. Jesus Christ. They're not excluded from... That's bullshit. You want to play video games there? You can do it. Wahin. You can say it both ways. You can say it however you want. I don't say it that way. Now, let me see something here. The reason that it is spoke in that way is because if you look at the spelling, some people will say it exactly the way that it's written. I don't know who goes to Thailand just to play video games. I mean, if you want to keep busy and then that's fine. But most people who live here, if they want to play video games, they do it at home. That's how you say that. And the thing is that's in the beginning, it's a whole heap. And the next one is Waran. That's why people say it in both ways, because of the spelling. Now, let me see something here. Did you hear that? I don't know if you heard that or not, but Huahin. There you go. Alrighty. Thank you very much. So let me see here. Dr. Shorwood said the case occurred around mid-August. The mistake came from the performance of Kratumban hospital staff. Well, that's good. Hospital admitted fault and took responsibility for the entire incident. Wow, that's kind of a surprise, but okay. Previously, they had already spoken with the Thai child's father and had scheduled both families to come in for further discussions about all reparative actions as requested. He provided details from questioning the child's caretaker and ward chief, stating that both newborns were children of a Thai family and a Myanmar family. They were suspected of having infections and were admitted to the patient ward for close monitoring. During the treatment period, there were over 10 sick children. At that time, both children had infections and needed treatment with intravenous antibiotics and saline. Therefore, during the care procedures, including giving saline and bathing and changing clothes for the infants, the wristbands had to be removed. This led to the mistake and the switching of the babies. Wow. On August 18th, when his child completed the antibiotic course, the family took her home. No matter how he looked at the infant, it wasn't his child. On Monday the 19th, he called the hospital expressing his suspicion that the infant wasn't his. The hospital staff said his child was different from others because of the 7-day medication, so there would be bruises on the wrist from blood draws, which he confirmed. But he still wondered why the eyebrows were gone. He was told children's faces change every day. The next day, Anuka couldn't bear it anymore and posted on the Kratumban news group asking if the children are the same. Most people said they weren't and advised him to go to the hospital for a DNA test. So on Wednesday, August 21st, he rushed to the hospital with the child and a nurse for checkup and explained everything. The nurse then took blood samples from him, his wife, and the child. The results came out clearly showing that this infant wasn't his. I was angry, furious, very sad, and felt sorry for my children. I told the deputy hospital director that they must do whatever it takes. I just want to see my real child. Wow, that's pretty sad, man. Do you talk to your wife in English or Thai or both? Most of the time in English. Sometimes in Thai, especially if we're somewhere else. Like if we're in America, I'll speak to her in Thai because I don't want people knowing what I'm saying. But if I'm here in Thailand, most of the time I just speak to her in English. She understands everything, pretty much. With there's words that she doesn't understand, but she understands everything. So do the kids. They speak to her in English and in Thai. They speak to her in Thai more than I do, but they speak to her in English and in Thai. And she often asks him, how do you spell this? I'm not sure about this. And then, Alex, how do you spell this? And he tells him, and sometimes he doesn't know, and I'll go, here's the way you spell it. Let the master tell you. No, I just go, hey, this is how you spell it. Then DNA tests were conducted for certainty. The hospital said they would compensate with immediate free treatment, but for monetary compensation, they asked to wait for 2 weeks, not guaranteeing the full amount, claiming they needed to collect donations first. What the Anucha said if he had to wait, he would, but the hospital would resolve this as quickly as possible. Hospital management explained that upon receiving information from the Thai child's father and his request for a DNA test, they immediately complied. The initial results confirmed that the father's suspicion of a baby switch. Then they located the switched infant and returned both to their biological parents. They also sent samples for a second DNA test at Ramatibodi Hospital in Bangkok, which confirmed the switch. Wow, this is kind of interesting. Dr. Surowitz said the mistake occurred at Khartoum Band Hospital, and they are willing to take responsibility for all costs incurred, including long-term medical care for both children equally. They are also prepared to provide monetary compensation as requested by the Thai child's parents. Never let a good opportunity go past you to try to get some money out of them, but I understand in this case. Both families have been scheduled for further clarification and understanding. Additionally, the hospital has set up a committee to investigate the facts, review measures, and establish guidelines to increase newborn safety. They acknowledge that using wristbands alone is insufficient and the plan to install more CCTV cameras for comprehensive monitoring. They have also emphasized to staff the need for more careful and thorough care in distinguishing newborns to prevent such incidents. That's pretty serious. I would think they would really want to make sure they get it right. I mean, sometimes you don't get a second chance. Imagine they switched it and nobody knew, and then 10 years down the line they figured out, oh, this isn't my kid. Then it's like, you better fork over the big duckies, baby. Anyway, alrighty. Let's see here. Okay, so I guess that's about it. Thank you. Oh, do me a favor, hit that like button. Subscribe, hit the notification bell. And check down below in the description for everything. Everything's down there. All kinds of things are down there. Good stuff. But I guess that's about all I have. Unless somebody else has something that they're dying to discuss or to debate or whatever, then I guess that's about all we have. That's about all we have. MGTOW, I hope you're happy with your gaming and your lady boys. Michael, thank you very much. Appreciate it. I'm going to have a great day. We got a lot to do because, like I said, Tuesday we leave. Today we have to go grocery shopping. I think I know the microphone I want. I'm just going to wait because I have a couple of things I need to buy, and microphone is not the most expensive or not the most, the top priority. I need to get my eyes checked. I need to do a few things. But anyway, yeah, what's today? Today is Sunday. I may stream tomorrow. I'm not sure. Or I may stream Wednesday. I'm not sure. And then I think I'll stream on Friday. So I got like 2 streams in me. 2 or 3 streams in me. I know Rode microphones are great. However, so are DJI mics. I've been looking at DJI versus Rode. And while I like Rode mics, let me just tell you, every Rode mic I've had either falls apart or breaks down. That's what's happened. I have stuff from, Boya, Chinese company. The thing lasted forever. I got a couple of things, I don't even know, they don't even have brands on them. And they still work. Where Rode, because maybe I'm using it all the time, seems to break down. But I've seen the DJI, and it's about 8,900 baht versus 15,900 for the Rode. And perhaps the Rode quality is just a hair bit better, but the DJI has many, many other options and many features that Rode doesn't have. So I'll see what happens. I'm gonna keep looking into it, and we'll see what happens. But it'll take me some time because I'm not in a hurry now. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I could use a mic for. The thing is that I have my. Right now, I'm using my phone. I always use my phone to stream because the quality is very good, very stable. My Mac is about 10 years old. I need to get another computer. And this one should be strong enough to where I can, if I like was using Zoom or something, I could have a background behind me. I can't do that with this one. If I had multiple people in a stream, as I used to, the quality would be much better because the quality of the computer is better, and I could actually stream through the computer as opposed to through the phone. And I understand there are ways to do things, but like the way that I have it set up right now is very easy. I just carry my phone. That's it. And I can hook up a microphone to it. And generally in the past it's been very, very good. The quality's been excellent. So it really depends. And I got to go through today and look through my stuff, but I got a lot of stuff to do. I forget what my wife said she had to do. But we got to go to the grocery store tomorrow. I got to take my kid to the doctor. I got to, I got a lot of things to do. And then on Tuesday, we leave early in the morning. And, I don't know what we're going to do down there. I have no idea. All I know is I got my phone. I got plenty of internet time. If I want to stream, I can stream. If I want to shoot videos, I can shoot videos. Whatever I want to do. So, anyway, thank you very much, everybody. Appreciate the contributions and the contributions in the chat. It's a really good condenser mic, which will sound great for your needs. Just saying, yeah, but is that a mic for a Mac or for a PC? I mean, you have to think about these things, and sometimes the PC is not the best way to go. I mean, the Mac is not the way to go. So, when I buy it, believe me, I will think of everything. I got to think about, am I going to get another Mac? What am I going to do? Am I going to get another Mac? Am I going to, stick with this one? Am I going to get a PC? What am I going to do? Because if it's a PC, then yeah, I can use all kinds of microphones. I can get everything set up. Yeah, this looks to me like it's on a. I think it's on a. Let me see here. Yeah, input. Well, it's micro USB, so it could be a Mac, and that's only $259. It's not bad. So. Anyway. Thank you again. Let me give you my little thing here. Thank you once again. I appreciate it. And I will talk to you in the near future. Boom. There we go. Talk to you in the near future. See ya. See ya. See ya. Oh, yes. Receiving the love. I love it. All right. I am Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok. Until next time. Chok di leo jerken mai. We will talk later. Thank you and arrivederci. Or chok di leo jerken mai. Good luck and see you later.